Hello and welcome back to Mind the Leaves. My name is Sam and today we get to talk all about a fantastic houseplant, Gasteria. Gasteria is commonly known as cow or ox's tongue, and I think you can kind of tell why. These leaves, at least to me, literally look like a tongue. They are covered in this rough texture of taste buds. The first thing that I want to say about Gasteria is that they are fantastic houseplants. They're great for beginners, they are super easy to grow. I would even put this guy on the hard to kill list, so he's really tough. It also just makes a great gift if you want to give a plant to somebody to green up their space, but they don't exactly have the greenest thumb. This plant doesn't even care if he's close to a radiator or a heat vent. Okay, let's talk about how we actually care for this fantastic houseplant. In terms of sunlight, this is such a great succulent because unlike most succulents that need a lot of direct sunlight to keep a nice growth habit, Gasteria actually prefers to have bright indirect light. So if you don't have ideal growth conditions for succulents, but you love succulents, Gasteria is perfect because you can keep it. I actually keep mine on a north-facing window, and it has done so well for me. It has grown huge since I got it, and it is full of pups. Having said that though, this plant is very versatile and can pretty much put up with almost anything, it seems. I know a lot of people who keep this in bright direct sun and it does great for them. So pretty much just if you see burn marks on the leaves, definitely reduce the amount of direct sunlight that it's getting. In terms of the soil, make sure to give this guy a nice, gritty, free draining mix so that when you water it, it flows quickly away from your roots. You should only water a Gasteria when the soil is completely dry. They're still a succulent, so they are still susceptible to root rot, so make sure that you're letting their soil completely dry out before you water them again. A great thing about this plant is that it's not picky about what type of water you use. You don't have to use rainwater or filtered water. Good old tap water on this guy does the trick. For fertilizer, just fertilize once a year, just in the springtime to give them a boost going into their growing season, and other than that, you're good. For propagation of these plants, if you can't tell from the base down here, he pups very readily. So I've got about 1 million little pups down in there, and last season I pulled off a bunch of pups as well. All you have to do is pull the pup off, or if it's too difficult to wiggle off, just get in there with a knife and give it a clean cut. Then just take that and put that onto some new soil, maybe with some sticks, keep it upright, and it will quickly set down roots for you. And voila, lots of new plants. In fact, this one is a little pup that I pulled off of last year, and just look how great he's doing. He's absolutely gorgeous. Now you can just leave the pups around the base, maybe repotting it into a bigger pot so that it starts to form a clump, which is kind of what I'm doing here with this guy. Or periodically you can just remove the pups. For pests and diseases, once again, really great plant. I have never seen a pest on this plant. I've never had any problem with diseases, although it can be susceptible to mealybug because they love to chomp on those thick leaves, and it can also get black fungal spot if water is allowed to sit on the leaves, and that can also happen when humidity in your home is really high consistently. Speaking on humidity for this plant, it usually doesn't really care about the humidity. This plant can take as low of a humidity as you can go, and it can take fairly high humidity, like 60%. But if your humidity is consistently above 60 in your home, there is a chance that your plant will struggle with black spot. Did you know that these cuties even bloom? Yes, they shoot out these really tall, long flower spikes, usually in winter or spring, and they are covered with these strange but cute pink stomach-shaped flowers, which is actually how they get their name, Gasteria. Now, I propagated this pup last year, so you can sort of see that they are very slow growing plants, which is actually great if you're looking for plants that stay small and compact. Maybe you're living in a small space, and this plant is perfect because it will not overrun you. So there are actually lots of different types of Gasteria. This variety is known as Little WARTY, and if you're looking at the leaves, you can probably tell why. It's absolutely covered in these little taste bud-like dots. You get them in a variegated form. They all sort of have different looks to them. Because this is such a fantastic plant, I absolutely encourage you to go on Google and check out some of those other great varieties. And if you don't already have one, pick one up for yourself because you won't regret it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate that. And until we get to see each other again, don't forget to take care of your plants and yourself.